So now we have our community officers.
So good evening again. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good? Okay. My name is Officer Smith. I am the community officer, and this is my partner, Officer Keithley. And we both work at Pedestal Gardens apartment complex, and we are the security. We provide security. What we do here is we provide security for the residents and their family to make sure it's a safe environment. Is very friendly for everyone. They could talk to us whenever they have any issues or any concern. They'll let us know, and we will try our best to resolve any issue or any concern. All right? And today we're going to go over a few safety measures and a few. Later on, we'll get into a little bit of drill. We'll get into fire drill a little bit, and we'll go into a little bit of kidnapping and how to be safe and not to talk to strangers, what you should do when strangers approach you, and what not to do. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
John, Officer John.
I'm just going to piggyback on Smith on this, and we're going to go ahead and let him take the lead. So
Okay.
we're here to keep you guys safe and keep the property, all the bad guys away.
Okay.
All right.
Is there any questions so far?
So let's go around and introduce. Wait a minute, Darrell. Let's go around. Everybody, just tell the officers your name.
You want to start over here?
Yeah.
Go all the way there. So, Kamira, you want to start us off, and then we'll go down this way.
Okay, my name is Kamara and I like the dentist.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, Miss Kamara.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Talia.
Nice to meet you. Say again.
My name is Talia.
Talia. Nice to meet you, Miss Talia. I like your name.
Thank you.
And I'm Miss G, one of the teachers here.
Okay, nice to meet you, Miss G.
My name is Durrell.
Your name is what? Durrell. Nice to meet you, Durrell, Mr. Durrell. Young lady.
This is my namesake. This is Melanie.
Oh, Miss Melanie.
She's been a little shy.
Yeah, she's shy.
I thought we were playing the other day, Miss Melanie.
She'll come around later. All right.
Okay.
My name is Jalen.
Jalen. All right, nice to meet you, Jalen. Nice to meet you.
Then we have Miss Strawberry, who's
Miss
our
Strawberry.
therapist. Yep.
All right. Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You know how Cosby they use different codes. So why do they use them codes to like
Open their lockers?
no codes are code red in our costume.
Now that's a good question.
So the
Good
codes,
question.
when they use codes, is for a few reasons. One reason is to not alarm the citizens. All right, because if they walk up, if you're standing around and they should say, "Oh, there's a fire over there," or "There's a shooting over there," then the crowd, then the citizen will get the alarm, and panic, and everyone start moving around. So that's one reason they use codes to communicate with each other without telling the citizens what's going on. Okay?
Good question, Darrell. Good question.
Is there another question?
Before we start, yeah.
Thank you.
Kamira.
What was your name again?
Officer Smith.
I got another question.
Yes.
Why do y'all tell people to pull over and don't pull over at the same at different times? Like you know how that they're in the back of the truck? It's like track people's speed limits and kind of stuff. Why do y'all use them kind of devices?
Okay, so
Good
those
question.
devices, that's a good question. What that devices does is it goes a long way. They could pick up speed from a mile away or further. And what that is because if you're speeding and you see me right there, then you're gonna start slowing down. That's when you're gonna obey the speed limit, right? But if I could see you before you see me, that means then it's like I'm not there. And so you will get caught and they'll pull you over and let you know, hey, you've been pulled over because you were speeding and you will get a ticket. No, the reason they will tell you, hey, no speeding is to save your own life or save somebody else's life. Because if you're speeding not paying attention, paying attention on the street, then you will run into another car or hit somebody on the crosswalk or another kid or something that nature. So that's why they set up strategically to, catch people off guard, so they could follow the speed limit.
And we all have rules that we have to follow. So one of the rules is don't speed.
Right, don't speed.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be another question.
Yeah,
We could go with somebody else. I'm thinking of another
Well, so can we start the presentation? So anybody have anything else? No, those were all good questions. Kamara, yes?
No.
No.
no
Okay.
persons. Miss
Okay.
Miss Melanie?
Okay. All right. So we're gonna have a short presentation. Thanks for the intros. So, kidnapping and trafficking. Has anybody heard of those two words before? Yes. Which one? Kidnapping. Okay. Kamara?
Kidnapping.
Kidnapping? Both. Mel? Have you heard of kidnapping before? Yes? No? Okay. Neither? Kidnapping nor trafficking?
I know.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you heard of which one, Kamara?
I heard
Kidnapping.
I heard of somebody that got snatched.
Snatched is another word. Yep. Okay. So this video. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So, you heard of the term kidnapping or trafficking. So let's just go with the word kidnapping, right?
Does anybody know what kidnapping means?
What does kidnapping mean? Yes.
It's like when an older person grab a kid and like take them and sell them.
Okay. So kidnapping, and that's considered kidnapping and trafficking. They kidnap them first and they traffic them. All right. What do you think kidnapping is? Coming to you.
Kidnapping is when a person sneak up to you without no warrants.
With-
Or without no warning or nothing.
Okay. Miss Melanie, you know what? Okay. Miss, you could go ahead.
Kamara.
Kamara.
Come on, bro.
Come on.
What is kidnapping?
Kidnapping is like when somebody sneak up on an older kid or a little girl and then they take them to their house and then they start raping people.
Hey. Cause it can happen.
Right.
It can happen.
Yes.
Say it like.
Yeah. It can definitely
It
happen.
does happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So everybody pay close attention. Thank you for that. Am I here? Okay, here we go.
What's that say?
After a car accident, you need help now. When you need a lawyer, you have a lawyer. Call 1-800-LAWYERS or visit
So make sure everyone is looking.
Hello?
So,
help for my lost
pause
pet?
1 second. Just pause. So this is actual video of letting kids aware of when strangers come up to them. So if you guys ever at the park playing and somebody should just walk up to you, just listen and watch, okay? And if you have any questions, we'll do it afterwards.
What kind of pet is it?
It's a puppy. If you both help me out, I'll give each of you $10.
I don't know. Come on, let's do it. Well, if you go, I'll go too. Good. I can get that car I wanted. What kind of pet did you say it was?
It's a white puppy with brown and black stripes. I got a picture over my car. Come on, I'll show you. Come on. Come on.
Come on, let's do it. She's thinking of something.
Pause it a second. So,
Everybody, this is Captain Q.
so everyone, quick question. In this case, if someone approaches you and your friend or your brother or your sister and say all these things to you, what would you do? All right, start with you.
I would run away.
You would run away? Okay.
Find a weapon.
Find a weapon. Okay.
Use a stick.
Use a stick. What would you do?
Use something.
What was you watching? Miss Melanie, what would you do?
They're offering you money, guys.
Run away.
How do you avoid
Did
it?
you run away? She said she would
Sure.
run away.
You would run away?
Good.
Okay. Alright, so in the next portion of this video, we're gonna see what their response was, or what's the correct way to do, or what's the right thing to do, okay? Yes.
I got a question. If somebody dress up as a police and say somebody or something happened like to your mother or your family and tell them to get in your car.
That's actually in here too. That's a great question. That's a great question.
How do you know if they're lying?
How do you know they're lying? So very good question. No, a regular police officer is not just gonna come to you in a personal car or a patrol. They would, if they're coming to you, they're gonna come to you and ask, the first thing they're gonna ask, where's your parents? And you're gonna see a police car. If you don't see a police car and you just see a police officer in plain clothes, that means get away as far as possible, or scream, call for help, all right? Because no regular police officer that's gonna come to your rescue in a plain clothes, I mean in a personal car. They wouldn't be in a patrol car, all right? Okay.
And if you're ever not sure if it's a real police officer, just go to whoever you're with as far as an adult goes, try to get to the closest adult and tell them I want to call 911. I don't know if this is a police officer or not. And when the police show up, if they're not real, they're going to run. They're going to leave. And the police will come and protect you.
Absolutely. All right.
You had a question, Deron?
Yes.
Well, I'll just go let them do it. I go with you.
Okay.
Hello? Can you help me find my lost pet?
What kind of pet is it?
It's a puppy.
No, I'm sorry, we can't help you.
If you guys help me out, I'll give you both $10 each.
No, we can't help you. Come on, Chan, let's go.
So you see what they did. We can't help you. And they run away, they move. So that's what you want to do if something like that should ever happen. You don't know this person, they just walk up to you and, you know, hey, could you help me find my pet? Or your mother's in the hospital, come with me, or anything like that. You get as far away as possible. Scream and go try and get help, all right? So you just tell them you can't help them.
If you tell him no and he's still trying to come towards you, no matter who it may be, yell help, help, help as loud as you can. This person's trying to take me, help,
Or
help.
scream.
And people around you will notice.
If nobody around, can we like get something near us and hit them?
No.
No. Well, what I would suggest, if say you know there no one around, you know, you want to try to run and try to look for people around you, because chances are wherever you are, there's always going to be people around. All right. If you're going to be somewhere where there is no one else, that means you're in the wrong place. All right. So you're never supposed to be by yourself where no one, you know, out of reach, out of sort of mind. All right. So always make sure, pay attention to your surrounding. That if you walk in somewhere by yourself, which you shouldn't, but let's just say you are, you always want to make sure there's people around you that could see you. All right.
Good question. All right, so the next scenario is stranger approaches. So this goes to what you were saying.
Hurry, come with me. Your mother was in a car accident. She's at the hospital. They asked me to come get you.
I'm not supposed to go with strangers.
I'm your mom's best friend at work.
Is she alright?
I don't know. I have the hospital on the line here. We'll find out when we get there. Come on, get in. I'll take you to her.
Alright. So, somebody random, you walking home from school, as you can see, walks up to you. Hey, your mother's in the hospital. I'm your mother's best friend. Come with me, she's at the hospital. What would you do?
I run.
Hands up.
I run.
You'll run? Okay, what would you do?
I will run.
You run? What would you do?
Don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing?
Don't.
What would you do, Miss Melanie?
Jay.
Run.
You run.
Good.
Okay, good.
Good answer, guys.
Good answer.
Yeah.
So whenever someone walks up to you and say your mother says, you know, I'm your mother's best friend. You don't know that they're strangers. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you like run away and they go after you and they got like a gun, what would you do? Like what would you try to do to like make them stop?
Make him stop. Well, you want to run as far as you can. All right. The thing you're trying to do is try to get around people. All right. They may have a gun, but by the time they should get out of their vehicle to come to you, let's say they point a gun at the kid and saying, you know, come in the car. By the time they're supposed to get out of the car, you're supposed to already running, or trying to knock on somebody's door if you know, in the neighborhood, and try to see if we can get help. All right, and scream as loud as you
Yes.
can. All right. So that's what we do.
Bring a lot of attention to you. Screaming and yelling.
So listen what his response
Hurry,
is.
come with me. Your mother was in a car accident. She's at the hospital. They asked me to come get you.
No, I'm not going with you. I don't know you.
I'm your mom's best friend at work. Come on, get in the car. I'll take you to her.
So you would run. All right, run. So if they're pointing a gun at you and say, get in the car, chances are they're not trying to hurt you. They're just trying to intimidate you to get in the car. They don't want to hurt you because they want, you know, have plans or whatever. So what you want to do is don't be to just run. Scream, run. All right?
Chances are they're going to know that it's creating a scene, and they're not going to want the chance of them getting caught doing
Right.
that. They would rather, if they go to pointing you and you create attention, help, and you run, they're going to most likely pull off and just try to get
Run away,
because they
right.
don't want to get in trouble.
Yep. All right? So just remember, run, scream as loud as you can.
Hi, Amy. I'm Jen. How are you? Okay, I guess. You know, Amy, I'm looking for someone to play a game with. How'd you know my name? Oh, well, that's not important. I'm not really supposed to talk to strangers. Well, since you know my name, and I know your name, then we're not strangers anymore, right? And if we're not strangers anymore, would you like to play a game? What kind of game? Well, I have a group of children over there playing hide and seek. Would you like to come and play with us? Wow. Oh, come on, it'll be fun. Okay.
All right. So you're swinging in the park.
Hi.
Somebody walks up to you. Hey, Miss Melanie. First thing, what they know your name. You have no idea, or they know your name, right? So, and they say, "Come with me. Let's go play a game." What would you do? Because they know your name. So what would you do?
Run.
Good.
Run.
You would just run? What would you do?
I would say no thank you and run.
And run, okay. What would you do? You would run. Miss Melanie? What would you do?
I would run.
You would run. Okay, nice. So if anyone comes up to you and call you by your name, that doesn't necessarily mean like you know them. All right? There can be strangers. They're still strangers. Did your mother introduce you to them? Do you know them? No. So they could get your name from anywhere. All right? So that doesn't mean they know you because they call you by your name. And if they're asking you to come with them, as long as they're saying, come with me, come help me do this, come help me play some games, or find my puppy and call you by your name, that you don't know them. You say nope, and you run, and you scream. You started screaming, it's gonna create a distraction, and then they will have to leave. All right? But whatever you do, don't stand there and wait for them to grab you or anything. Just say no, and if they refuse, still trying to talk you just start screaming and run. All right? Yes.
If they're in disguise and ain't being in disguise is a law.
Disguise?
Yes, like trying to trick somebody or going somewhere with them or something. Like a police, like dressing up and just.
Because that's impersonation. That's legal.
Yeah, that's an impersonating.
But
Like, yes.
if y'all do it, why is not a law for y'all?
What do you mean?
Like, if it's a law for them,
If
why
they're
is not a law?
undercover, is that what you're saying?
So when you go undercover, it's either, say for instance, we police officers and we go in undercover, right? And we go undercover to expose bad people, right? That's what they do, right? Undercover. Now, you're saying why is not a law? That's what you're saying? What you saying? Why do we do it?
Yes, basically.
So find out who the bad guys are.
Right.
To get inside, find out who they are and expose them so they can be arrested.
Yes. That's what we do. Because there's a lot of people that do a lot of bad things. And if we just walk up to them like this, they're not going to do anything in front of us. So to catch the bad guys, we have to pretend like we're one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
You understand? Right.
Hey, I'm Jenny, but you can call me Jen. I have a group of children over there and we're playing a game. Would you like to come and play with us? I'm sorry, but I don't talk to strangers. Well, you already know my name. And if you tell me your name, then we can be friends, right? No, leave me alone.
See, so she said, I know your name. We already friends. Let's go play. Let's go. So anyone approaches you and you don't know them and they know your name, that doesn't mean they're your friends. Run, as she did, run and scream. All right?
Yep.
Getting Sonny's boxes into my house. I pay you.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Great. Thank you. You don't realize how much of a help this is going to be.
Okay.
All right. Good. That's good. That's good. That's real good. All right. You coming back and help me make some space for those boxes?
I have to be home before 30.
Yeah, well, you got plenty of time. Come on.
So what's going on here is two kids walking on the street and wait a minute. Two kids walking on the street and a grown person, adult said, could you help me? I need help with these boxes. You don't know them. You never seen them before. What would you do? They're inviting you help me take these boxes into my house. You don't know them. What would you do? Well, yes.
Say no, thank you, and scream help everyone.
What would you do?
I will scream and be like, no, thank you, and run.
What would you do?
Ask my friend to go get help.
Ask your friend to go get help. What would you, Miss Melanie?
Ask for some more fruit.
Run.
You would run. Okay. So yes, you would run. Yes.
I have a question. What if it's someone you know, like a neighbor, like somebody that you've seen around the neighborhood or town, or it's like the storefront owner or somebody that you've seen at the store a lot, or what if it's you know, a parent's partner or somebody that your parents have told you that you're not supposed to go with, but they're telling you at that moment that you should go with them, and you know them.
Good question.
Unless your mother actually tells you, hey, you can go with this neighbor or this friend, you can go over to their house. Never go inside anybody's house.
Yep.
Even if you're familiar with them, even if they're a neighbor, unless your mother specifically says, how you doing? Unless your mom says, yeah, you can go in their house, never go in anybody's house. Even if it's somebody you know and see every day and are familiar with.
Yeah. So, and just to add to that, and answer your question, is say it's, you know, you always see this person around the neighborhood, right? You always see this person around the neighborhood, but you really never speak to them, but you just see them all around, all day, every day. You know, they may say hi to you, you may say hi to them, right? And they say, well, could you help me? Your response should be, no, I can't help you. My parents is not here, and I'm not supposed to be going to no one's house without my parents' consent, without my parents knowing where I'm at, right? Right?
Always think to yourself before you do things, what would my mother want me to do? That's something growing up for me that's helped me make a lot of good decisions and stay safe. If mom would tell me, if I thought about it, I thought, would my mom want me to go in this person's house? Would she want me to go here or do this? I always knew the answer. Moms are always right.
So even if it's your mom's friend, and your mom is not there, and your mom's friends say, hey, could you come help me? Bring this box into my house. I can't. I would have to ask my mom first, okay? Never just assume that it's okay, because your mom doesn't know about it. Your mom doesn't know where you are, and you want to make sure your mom knows where you are at all times. So what you're going to do is say, no, I have to ask my mom first. All right? So even though it's your mom friends, and you know it's your mom friends, still don't go in their house by yourself. Because your mother knows.
And always remember, you always want your mom to know where you go, because if something does happen, that she knows where to go and where to send the police.
Yeah.
So for me, I had a rule growing up. Whenever I wanted to go to anybody's house, my mother said, you make sure you call me beforehand if I'm not right with you and ask me and tell me where the house is at. Because if your parents know where you're at, then they can keep you safe, or they can send the police to keep you safe.
I have a question. How many of you go to school with have a cell phone that you take to school?
Oh, yeah.
Just 3 person. Okay.
A cell phone.
I'll take a cell phone. I'll take my Android.
Yeah, take your Android.
That's a phone.
You have a phone, right? You take a phone? No?
He has a cell phone.
But my mother walk with me, or sometimes she walk me down.
Okay.
Question. If somebody come up to go and say somebody got killed over there, would y'all believe them or?
If somebody came to us and say somebody got killed over there or over there, you want to know if we would believe them? Well, if somebody said, well, there's somebody dead, got killed over there, we would have to go look. And, we just can't not believe them, and we can't just believe them. We have to go verify for ourselves, just to make sure, all right? Not because someone says, for example, like, say you're playing with your friends and your friends come up to me and said, and one of your friends got hurt, and they come up to me and said, "Hey, officer, my friend got hurt on the playground. I'm not just not gonna go. I have to go." So even though they may be telling the truth or they may be telling lies, I don't know, but I would still have to go to make sure to check on your friend's well-being. All right. So either way, we're gonna go. Yes.
Can I add on what he said? Think before you do it.
Think before you do it.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Think before you do it. Absolutely.
And I'm gonna remember you said those wise words when I'm in here saying something to you and you act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
So I have a question for others.
Always think,
All right.
what would my mother tell me to do? That's always going to be your guide when you're not sure on something. That's what's always gotten me through growing up and through my 10 years to being a man.
I have a question for each of you. Even you, Miss Melanie, you're going to answer this question? No?
Yes.
So, as she said, think before you do it. How many of you think before you do something? How many of you?
I'm
That's
taking
being
notes
honest.
here.
Sometimes? Okay, you think before. Give me an instance where you think before you do something. Give me an example.
Just let her use it. She asked me.
That's what I was raising, so.
Tell them my friend is hurt, even though he's not.
I didn't hear. Say it again.
Even though I tell you that my friend is hurt, but even though he's not.
Even though,
But
say,
I'm gonna think first.
so you think before responding, right? Okay.
Hey, if this was my mother's food, and I almost ate it, I had to think before I did it, like eggs.
Okay. All right. So my next question is, how many of you think of bad things or good things before actually doing it? When there's bad things coming in your thought or good things coming in your thought, which you have experienced thinking good or bad, to do the right thing and to do the wrong thing? Yes. So what that is, you have this lid right here, and he may be getting on your nerves, right? And you're thinking just throw it at him, right? And then something saying to you, no, don't, but you still do it. That's thinking good or bad, all right? So what would you do? Because you have to think about it before you do it, right?
If a stranger asks me, can I help him do something?
Yes.
I would say, I would think, and then I would say, no, I'm okay.
You would think that your mom says never to talk to stranger, right? That's the first thing would come to mind, right? Right, everyone?
Yeah.
And you would run. Right, so that's a perfect example of thinking before you do something, all right? Good. So let's see their response.
Where's Michael at?
Oh, he's in the back. He's doing something for me.
Well, I'll just wait on for you.
See what he did? Did you see that?
Hey, would you mind helping me for a minute? I'm having trouble getting some of these boxes into my house. I'd pay you.
No, stay here. Well, we don't know you and our parents don't know you. So we'll have to get permission from our parents first.
So would you say that's the correct thing to do?
Yes.
Yeah?
Hi there. Are your parents home?
No.
And this is
Is there
important.
anybody here
So-
that I can talk to?
That's a positive response.
So you're here all by
This
yourself?
one is very important. If you ever are home alone, are you listening? If any of you ever are home alone, right, and somebody knocks at the door, never answer the door. Never answer the door. In this video, you're gonna see this child is home alone, and you're gonna see what he did right, and you're gonna see what he did wrong. All right?
Hello, Mom? A man just knocked on our door, and then he left. Yeah. No. No. Okay, bye.
So, whenever you have anybody at the door that you don't know, your parents don't know, you never want to open the door. I remember one time when I was about your age, I had a man come to the door that was there to deliver something. And I opened the door and he walked in, and even though nothing happened, my mother was in the kitchen. And when he left, after he dropped whatever he was delivering off, my mother whooped my butt. And I never did that again. I learned from that. So never open the door for somebody that you don't know.
Yes.
Never let them in. If you're home alone and there's nobody home with you, never open the door or answer the door.
Yes.
That happened once with me and my brother and my godbrother, my stepbrother. We was in the house. My mother was at work, and a man, he was dropping off a package, and my brother was through the peephole, and he able to go the guy. He opened the door and got the package, and then locked the door.
So, okay. If you're ever alone and somebody knock at the door and say, this is UPS, this is FedEx, yes.
I was my brother, but I called my mother and my mother told me to open the door and tell them to send it back, but they told me that she can't.
Okay. So if somebody knocks at the door, you're home alone and says, I'm the UPS, I got delivery, what would you do? Yes.
Now open the door.
Yes.
I'll call my mother and say it's a man. It's UPS is knocking at the door. If she said, I'll call the police.
Okay. What would you do?
Check before something when
What would you check for?
like check with the door.
You would look through the peephole?
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Melanie, what would you do?
Don't ask her anything else.
Okay. So what you want to do is not answer the door at all. Make sure you never answer the door. If you have if you know your mother's number or your parents' number, you call your parents and say, hey, there's somebody is at the door knocking on the door. All right? If she said, open the door and let them in. If you don't feel comfortable, don't open that door because you still don't know who is at that door. You don't know that person. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in this world, in today's world, that you just can't trust a lot of people. So you just don't feel uncomfortable. You feel uncomfortable. So you're not going to open the door. All right? I know a lot of us, our mother or parents will, open the door, say open the door and let them in. You could just say, I don't feel comfortable. I'm home by myself. I don't feel comfortable.
But don't say it by yourself.
Well, yes, no, if they're talking to their parents over the phone. All right? But never answer the door. Yes.
Like an important thing that you guys also need to realize when you call your parents, don't call your parents at the door.
Yes.
Somewhere far
away from the door. Correct. Yes.
When you call your parents.
Yes.
You do not want them to have the information that you are in here by yourself. Because a lot of times you can tell somebody that you're in the house by yourself without even opening the door.
Right.
So that's something that you
Great
have to pay
point.
attention to.
Great point.
So when you call your parents, go to like your room and call them and don't be loud. Because sometimes, doors can be very thin, walls can be very thin. So when you do that, you have to go find a nice spot to do so. And also, if it's UPS or delivery, they'll come back.
Yes.
Like you don't have to open the door.
Don't
Right.
open the door.
Right.
All right? Yes.
Good point.
I feel like keeping to the people is a bit much as well.
Yes.
I remember being young, and I don't know if they make people any different, but you looking out, the person can also look in.
Yep.
So I don't think that would be a good idea either, for you to go to the door and speak to the people. I don't think that that's
Yes, just stay away from the door altogether. Go somewhere safe. The safest place, your room, your mother's room, the bathroom. Call your parents. If you can't get hold of your parents, you call 911. Hey, somebody's knocking at my door. I'm home by myself. And you give them your address. Let them know where you are. Okay? But never stay close to the door. Yes?
What if it gets a friend knocking at the door? Like they're waiting for their friend to come over. So
Always verify with your mother before letting them in.
Yeah, so if you have a friend coming over and you're by yourself, chances are, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you're home by yourself and you call your friend and say, hey, I'm home by myself, you could come on over, right? And you heard a knock on the door, right? You're just gonna open the door because you're assuming that it's your friend and there should be at the door, right?
But that's not the case all the time.
That's not the case all the time. Absolutely right. So, in this instance, if there's a window close by, you may want to shift the curtain if you can see the door. And if it's not your friend, you go dial your parents or the police and stay away from the door. All right. So that would be, I would say, hypothetically speaking.
Can we hold on to the questions? Ms. Strawberry, go ahead, Ms. Strawberry.
So I'm just gonna say that when I was growing up in the household that I came from, my mother worked and she let it be known that, and I have a brother, so she let it be known when she is at work, we could not have no one in the house, no friends, no nobody. You cannot let nobody in her house until she comes home. You know, she all got cell phones now.
Yes.
But and she, it was a different day and time.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Which kept us safe.
I remember those days, and if somebody came to
kept
the
us
door and the
safe.
neighbor saw them go in, when I get home.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
And we couldn't even spend the night at anybody's house.
Same
Not
here.
even family.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to this phone call that's about to happen.
Yes, pay attention, please. Very important.
This is all about information that you give. You don't even realize it.
Hello?
Hello? Are your parents home?
No, they're at work right now.
Is there anyone else I can talk to? Like another brother and sister?
No. Would you like to leave a message?
What's your name?
It's Robbie.
Well, Robbie, I have a gift for your parents. You okay if I come by and drop it off?
Okay.
It's a surprise, so I won't be telling anybody. It's been a while since I've been over there. Can I have the address again?
Okay. It's 43. Hello?
Hello? Are your parents home?
I'm sorry, they can't come to the phone right now.
All right. So, did everyone hear what happened? Everyone heard what happened, right?
Yes.
So you're home alone. The phone rings. Somebody said, "Hey, are you home alone? Do you have a bigger brother? Is there a bigger brother with you? Is there a little sister? Is there anyone home?" What would be your first response when you pick the phone up? Yes.
Yes.
You would say yes. Okay. What would you say?
Well, I would say it's not even business.
Okay.
And we know that you would say that.
What would you say?
For sure.
Was you paying attention? What would you say? What would you answer?
I would say no, thank you, and I would hang up.
What would you say, young man?
Just hang up.
You would just hang up?
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you say yes?
Oh, not like that. Say yes when they say to the parents' home.
Oh, okay.
You would say yes.
Yes, that your parents own.